Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome to another edition of Tough Skin Soft Heart. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. I am so grateful that we are gathering. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome back to another episode. And really just welcome back to our community table. Hey now, Tough Skin Soft Heart family. Welcome to another edition of the Tough Skin Soft Heart podcast. Whether you are listening on the go, as you exercise, as you transport blessings to places that they need to be, whether you are listening in the cool of the day or the dawn of your day, whether you are binge listening. Y'all didn't think I knew about that, but I know that sometimes life gets away from us and you look up and you've missed 3 weeks of podcasts. So whether you're binge listening, whether you're listening at work, whether this is a woo-saw moment in your day, no matter where you are, whether you are listening in Hawaii or you are listening in Germany or you are listening in Boston, I am just elated that you have invited me into your quiet space, invited me into your respite space. I'm just glad that you have made this podcast, these 15 minutes of inspiration and strategy, part of your wellness practice. We've been saying this all season long, y'all. Wins without wellness leave us empty. Don't they? Right? Any witnesses to that? Wins without wellness don't mean a thing at the end of the day. We want to be difference makers who are leading, loving, and serving well from the inside out, not at the expense of ourselves, but with great care for ourselves, because we understand that our true sustainable humanity, true sustainable leadership, longevity in leadership, just longevity in life, right, starts from the inside out. And so I'm just glad that you're here. I am glad that you are bringing both the blessings in your life as well as the burdens that you face behind your titles and your smiles and your roles, and that you intentionally gather with me for us to break proverbial bread and to talk about the things that we carry. And so all month long, you all know that April is Stress Awareness Month. And I am just thankful for all of the reviews that you have posted, all of the comments as you watch this live. I thank you for even reaching out to our sponsors, University of Michigan Health West and Grand Rapids Community Foundation, to tell them thank you. Thank you for investing in this podcast. Thank you for investing in this content that feeds our wells and nourishes our souls. Y'all know podcasts aren't free, right? And so I just thank you. Thank you for telling our sponsors that you value this content and what we're producing and that you want more of it. Thank you so much for doing that. And I have just enjoyed reading all of your reviews. I read all of them, but it's been a joy to specifically read reviews about the impact of this month's conversation. And I know that we've been already talking the first week of this month when we talked about navigating uncertainty, and we said, ask the question. Ask the question, y'all. I used to say ask the difficult question, but I've omitted that word difficult. I've kind of thrown and drawn a line in it and kind of thrown that word away in this particular space of application, because it's not the question that's difficult. It's often sitting in the seat of the discomfort while we sort, sift, unpack, and unravel our emotions. That's really the difficult part. And so we started off talking about that one of the ways that we can navigate uncertainty is by first acknowledging that we're in a season of uncertainty or in a space of uncertainty, and then asking ourselves some questions, because often the presence of uncertainty is one of our body's built-in, hardwired cues and clues to let us know that something is changing. Either we desire something to change or we didn't expect for something to change, but external forces have brought change to our doorstep. And so we need to sit and ask the questions. We talked about asking ourselves questions like, what just happened to me? And maybe what is happening around me that has impacted my life and my wellness and my sense of well being or stability. We've talked about asking questions like, am I in alignment? Am I living close to living at the intersection of joy and purpose, or am I living at another intersection that no longer is serving me? Right? Just asking these interior heart questions and then not rushing to a solution, but allowing ourselves to sit in a space of wonder, in a space of curiosity, in a space of, I don't know, but that's okay. And then we went on to begin to talking about how we use our no. Look, if we want to slow the pace of our lives, the pace of fixing, doing, solving, showing up, being, we talked about the fact that for many of us, we know how to be bridge over troubled water, even when we are in a hurricane. That is our community. I know that about our community. And so often when we are struggling or when we're not okay, people don't even know it because you still show up and you slay, even on your darkest days, even in your low places. And so we talked about the fact that using no, we've always kind of heard that using the word no is a boundary setting word, but I introduced the concept in our last conversation of no being a metronome, an emotional wellness metronome. This way of regulating pace, how fast we're moving or slowing down the pace. And what we started to talk about was the fact that the people that glean from us moving at the speed of light, those are not going to be the people that tap you on the shoulder and say, you need to slow down. You're doing too much. You're overextended. You're carrying too much, right? And so we are the gatekeepers of our no. And pace, which is the rate at which we do things, we either accelerate or decelerate by using our no. So I'm curious to hear, y'all see me putting my ear up close. How has it been going with your no? How has it been going with pacing yourself in this season, right? We're in the second quarter of 2022, second quarter of the year. And so it's time for that Q1 assessment. Have you done a Q1 assessment to ask yourself some questions? And then to use whatever you hear or uncover or unpack or the learnings from the first quarter of the year to then define how you want to step further and step with intention in this second quarter of the year. Oh, just good stuff, y'all. Just good stuff as we talk about stress and stress awareness. And so you all know what we've been doing at the start of every episode. You already saw me automatically close my eyes if you're watching. We take that right hand and we're putting it over our heart just as a tactical point of touch. I often think to myself that when I put my right hand over my heart, and then I'll usually use my left hand to lay on top of that right hand, and I kind of press like a warm hug or a squeeze. It's a reminder of our humanity. It is a reminder that we are not robots. We are not mechanical instruments. We are human beings worthy of rest, worthy of wellness, worthy of peace, worthy of kindness, worthy of joy. And this hand over our heart is a reminder that the activation of that peace and that kindness and that joy starts in how we treat ourselves. It's not initiated in how others treat us. It's initially best cultivated in how we treat ourselves. And so we use it as a way to check in with ourselves, head and heart. How are we doing for real today? And as you're checking in, as you're doing this process, it is a perfect way to either start your day or end your day. I want to share a parenting example. I had an experience with my second grade son this past week that really spoke to the connection between unhealthy thoughts and stress. We were home. I don't remember what day of the week it was. We were home and I went to our linen closet to get a blanket, and y'all, there was this avalanche. That's the best way I can describe it. It was this avalanche of sheets and blankets and quilts that just came falling out of the linen closet. And I immediately knew. So, this is the challenge of being the only child, is that you don't have anybody you can blame it on. And so I immediately knew who the culprit was. And so I called Deuce to come to this avalanche that I was now covered in outside of our linen closet. And he had this look of horror, like, oh, snap. I didn't mean for it to like end like that, mama. Look on his face. And I just asked him point blank. I said, babe, what happened here? It looks to me like you were trying to put away a blanket, and in the course of things, maybe just pushed it and shoved it. And as long as you got the door closed, you were all right. And I opened the door, and here we are. And so Deuce said something to me that arrested my attention. He said, Mom, I didn't want you to be angry. I didn't want you to be angry because I know that you've been saying that you don't want to do the things for me that I can do for myself. And so I tried to figure it out on my own, and I did this. And he goes into explaining to me in rapid conversation kind of what he did. And for some reason on this particular day, as I was listening to him recount what happened and how we got here and what his thought process was, and how his thought process had impacted the series of decisions that led up to this now avalanche event, somehow the mama in me clued in on the words, I didn't want you to be angry, or I thought you might be angry, so I, da, 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 da. And in that moment, I looked at Deuce and I said, Deuce, I said, Mama is a human. I said, humans get upset. Just like you're a human and you get upset. And I said, but Deuce, I don't stop being your mama because I'm like, ooh, I might do something today that may make Deuce mad. So I'm not going to show up as his mama today. And I said to him, I said, son, when he was a little baby, we used to read this book called Guess How Much I Love You. Some of you, it's a classic childhood book. Many of you have probably read it or had it read to you or read it to your children. And so I referenced that book and I said, Deuce, how much do I love you? And he stretched his hands, as far as he could. And I said, bigger, bigger. And so he starts chuckling. And I said, Deuce, our relationship is rooted in love. I said, if I get upset with you, it's this big. And I kind of put my fingers together really small. I said, but this relationship that we have and how we communicate and how we relate to one another is rooted in love. I said, it's rooted out of love. I said, so babe, knowing that our relationship is rooted out of love, let that guide how you think and how you decide and how, what choices you take. I said, Deuce, I don't mind you asking me questions. I said, now, I probably wouldn't have folded it up for you, but I would have stood here with you and coached you through what to do. But I don't want you to let fear be what motivates this series of actions or thoughts or choices or decisions. I want you to be motivated by love, because that's what our relationship is rooted in. And it made me just think about, even as adults, how much stress do you navigate in your life because of unhealthy thoughts that lead to unhealthy decisions and unhealthy choices, right? Rachel Rodgers, in her book, We Should All Be Millionaires, she talked about the importance of doing thought work. She starts the book not with talking strategies about how to earn money, but strategies to unlearn unhealthy ways we've been taught to think about money. And I think the same thing is true for our emotional health. Some of us have had unhealthy ways that we've learned how to cope with crisis, risk, disruption, or even good things, even good stress, right? Stress that comes from good things like meeting the family of someone I'm dating or starting a new job or all of these things. And so, my charge to us as a family is as you reflect on what's caused you or is causing you stress, trace it back to the thoughts that led to a set of choices or a set of decisions or a set of reactions or a set of words or a set of beliefs. Go back to that and really, in a healthy way, interrogate those thoughts and see how there may be space to do some thought work so that you can impact how you're relating to stress. Y'all, these 15 minutes, I'm trying to tell you, they go by so fast. That is our time. It is 15 minutes on the dot. I just want to thank you for being with me today and do the thought work, right? We talked about asking ourselves some questions, using no as an emotional wellness metronome. And this week, address your thought work. What might you need to unlearn, relearn, rethink, or at least acknowledge so that it impacts how you see, define, react, and address stress. I'm thinking about y'all. Until next time. Podcasts during the month of April are sponsored in part by University of Michigan Health West. As part of one of the world's leading healthcare organizations, University of Michigan Health West is relentlessly advancing health to serve West Michigan. This has always been their hallmark, a passion for patients and keeping them at the heart of everything they do. Their innovations change care, and their care changes lives. For more information, visit uofmhealthwest.org.